Hello, everybody. Marcus here, your chef on a mission. We're going to talk about tackling food costs today. Food costs in restaurants. Food costs is one of the most important numbers that restaurateurs need to know, but most of them don't know. So let's talk about tackling food costs and where to start and how overwhelming food costs can actually be in inventory. But first, 50 mistakes that business owners make. Follow the link in my bio description and grab a copy of this for free. 50 mistakes that business owners make. My new book we're working on now, recipes from COVID, business recipes from COVID that made us a success. We're in the works of that right now. So stay tuned for those announcements coming up. Everybody still has to eat. It's gonna be the name of that book, and super excited to get that out and start sharing those business tips from COVID, lessons that we've learned. So tackling food costs. A lot of operators say, I just have no idea, Marcus, where to start with food costs. And of course, the real way to do food costs is you do beginning inventory, ending inventory. You have everything costed out on your menu. You run a theoretical versus an actual, and you make sure the variance is very small. And it takes a lot of work to do this. So most operators are very intimidated by starting this process. And they go, I just don't know what to do. And so they don't do anything. They do nothing. And that's the wrong thing as well. There are some things you can do that'll help you with your food costs that won't take as much effort, that'll at least get you going in the right direction. And sometimes by doing this, by gaining momentum and realizing you can save money, that you'll be able to continue this process. So one of the things that I suggest to anybody who's not doing food costs that wants to start doing something, run a sales report, figure out your 6 best sellers, 7 best sellers, 5 best sellers, let's say 6 best selling dishes. And cost those dishes out and monitor those dishes on a daily basis. Monitor the prices that are coming in on the proteins and the produce. Produce can skyrocket, and people don't realize how much money goes into produce into a restaurant. People think, oh, everything, the most expensive items come from the butcher, from the meat department, from the meat distributor, but produce can really add up as well. And most restaurants, when I talk to them, I said, well, you're charging $21 for this or $12 for this. How did you come up with that cost? And typically the answer is, I don't know. Well, my neighbor charges $10 for a burger, so I have to charge $9.50. I want to undercut my neighbor, right? I want to undercut my competition. And that's the wrong answer, because the products you're using are different than the products your competitors using. So by establishing 6 key items, running those reports constantly, and then doing inventory every single day on those items, you will find that the momentum starts from and goes positive in a forward direction. Now, to really do food costs, you need to have every single dish costed out. You need to know what a drop of olive oil costs you. You need to know everything costed out, broken down. So it's broken down to the unit. And things are in a program like Chef Tech or something, and you can flag every item as it's coming in the door, the price, and that equates back to the new price into the recipe. And every time you do inventory, you have the exact last price you paid. And I have this whole formula, this whole food cost formula. If you go to marcusguiliano.com, we give out this food cost formula for free, and it goes really in depth with a lot more of this kind of stuff. So marcusguiliano.com. This is just a little overview today. But you need to really run an adequate food cost and be on top of it. It's a constant daily thing. Somebody's got to be monitoring prices. You need to have a program for it. You need to have recipes put in. When we cost food out based upon the average price paid or the highest price paid, not the last price paid, because that will always go to bite you if you're doing the last price paid, and especially if you're pricing a dish out. Most people put new dishes on their menu, or the dishes you put on your menu that time of year are typically seasonal, and when food is seasonal, that's when it's the best price. And as it moves out of season, obviously the price goes up, especially in produce. It can double very easily. Same thing with beef going into the summer months, grilling season. Beef always increases in the summer months. Lobster always increases around New Year's Eve. Into Valentine's Day, lobster gets to its high point, lobster tails. So when you go back, you always want to run these reports on the average price paid or the highest price paid and make sure you're winning on that. And this is all in that formula. If you go to marcusguiliano.com and check that out. So start with 6 key items, monitor those very closely, cost those out, and understand how much you're selling of those, and understand every night, if the ribeye steaks is one of your big sellers, understand every night when they close the kitchen, there's 15 ribeye steaks left, and tomorrow we're going to cut 30 more, and then the next night there's going to be 20 left. Figure out the difference and make sure that's what you actually sold. So there's not ribeyes that are getting not rang in properly, wasted. There's always going to have some kind of waste, right? That's just what happens. You have to figure that out. Chef might burn something, drop something, customer might not like it, return it, and it gets comped or something. So, but if you monitor those numbers very, very carefully, every night, you will find that you'll start winning the food cost game. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. And go to marcusguiliano.com or 50mistakes.com and sign up, and you'll get our food cost formula.